2, Carlos Alcaraz reaches the Queen's Club final for the second time as the Spaniard eased to a 6-4, 6-4 win over Roberto Bautista Agut.
President Bola Tinubu has emphasized the urgent need for economic and regional cooperation amongst West African leaders to integration, collective action, and shared prosperity. Delivering the opening address at the inaugural West Africa Economic Summit in the nation's capital, Abuja, President Tinubu stressed the need to dismantle trade barriers across the sub-region, saying West Africa must coordinate or collapse in the race for global relevance. Our State House correspondent Nari Lasisi has this report.
The second day of the inaugural West African Economic Summit commenced with this vibrant performance. President Bola Tinubu leads guests at this event with the presidents of Benin Republic, Sierra Leone and Liberia also in attendance. Participants include traditional rulers, ambassadors, private sector leaders and development partners. The summit has a key target: to reset the vision for the economic future of the West African region.
Our purpose today is to reset the vision for the economic future of the West African region. Now, that is quite an ambitious target. And let's be honest, it is up to the creative talents, enterprise, and ingenuity of our people to deliver that transformation.
For President Tinubu, who also serves as a chairman of the Economic Community of West African States, there is a need for urgent action.
Our prosperity depends on regional supply chains, energy networks, and data frameworks. We must design them together or they will collapse separately. We must move from declarations to concrete deals, from policy frameworks to practical implementation.
He pointed them to the new possibility for the sub-region.
Let us build a West African that is investable, competitive, and resilient, one that needs and leads with vision, responsibility, and unity. This is the new West African proposition. Let us make it real and bankable.
For the other presidents, this summit provides a vital platform for reflection, coordination, and renewed commitment.
To deepen and boost intra-regional competitiveness, we must accelerate progress towards monetary union. A single regional currency would reduce exchange rate costs, support price stability in our region, and improve the business environment.
Goodwill messages were also presented, some through video statements.
If each of our countries works alone, it is unlikely that we'll be able to build efficient value chains or attract the investment we need. However, if ECOWAS can think in terms of sub-regional value chains, our markets and scale economies become bigger and more attractive to investors.
This year's theme, Unlocking Trade and Investment Opportunities, speaks to the urgency of accelerating regional integration as a lever for transformation. By 2035, deeper integration could add nearly $140 billion to West Africa's GDP and lift more than 30 million people out of extreme poverty across Africa.
A highlight of the event is the signing of an agreement between Nigeria and the Republic of Benin to deepen bilateral integration and serve as a model for broader regional cooperation within ECOWAS. As this inaugural two-day event ends, the challenge now is how to translate the laudable objectives of this event into concrete action that will benefit and positively impact the people of the West African region. Lanre Lasisi, Channels Television News.
To politics now. The All Progressives Congress, APC, has officially received the Akwa Ibom State Governor, Pastor Imo, into the party. The party's national leadership formally welcomed the governor with an elaborate ceremony at the Godswill Akpabio International Stadium in Uyo, the Akwa Ibom State capital.
It's a remarkable day in Akwa Ibom State as APC members from all parts of the country gathered here at the Godswill Akpabio International Stadium in Uyo to formally receive Governor Moeno into the party. The event is attended by the Vice President, Kashim Shettima, who is representing the President. Also here is the Senate President, Senator Godswill Akpabio, National Chairman of the APC, Abdullahi Ganduje, 24 state governors, national executive members of the party, and other leaders. Speakers at the event say Governor Moeno's decision to move to the APC is in the best interest of Akwa Ibom State.
I'm delighted to congratulate, on behalf of all Progressive Governors Forum, Akwa Ibom people, Akwa Ibom government, both at home and abroad, for this wise decision they have taken to join the moving train and be part of the national development.
You have placed the unity and progress of Akwa Ibom State above party lines. You have chosen partnership over partisanship. So to the men and women of Akwa Ibom State who have followed you diligently in this divining moment, our leaders, our thinkers, our patrons, I say to you, welcome home to the Progressive family. The path ahead may be steep, but the reward is certain.
The man at the center of it all, Governor Moeno, says despite his movement, he remains committed to create a better future for the state.
Let me reassure all Akwa Ibomites that regardless of my political alignment, I will remain a governor for all Akwa Ibomites as we continue to implement progressively the Arise agenda, which is our social contract with the Akwa Ibom people. Today, Your Excellencies, we step out bold, fearless, brave, for this is an uncommon but progressive move.
After his speech, he is officially received by the national leadership of the party.
This is handed over to you with your running mate, a beautiful lady, a hard-working lady. This is our pride.
The leadership assures the governor of full integration into the party.
I'm telling you this, Your Excellency Pastor Moeno, because I want you and our co-troublers to know that President Tinubu is a bridge builder, an inveterate Democrat. And so your decision to come home to the APC is one that you will never regret.
In the coming days, the APC is expected to receive more defections from the PDP.
In security, the Adamawa state government has reaffirmed its commitment to supporting security forces in protecting lives and property, as well as safeguarding the nation's sovereignty. Governor Omar Fintiri made this known during the closing ceremony of a competition for warrant officers in Yola, the state capital. According to the governor, the military training exercises are not just a mere formality, but imperative in order to enhance their performance.
It is a 2025 Warrant Officers and Senior Non-Commissioned Officers competition of the 3 Division of the Nigerian Army, comprising troops from the 23 Armored Brigade, Yola, 33 Artillery Brigade, Bauchi, 6 Brigade, Jalingo, 3 Division Garrison, Jos, and 43 Engineering Brigade, Jos. The Deputy Governor of Adamawa State, Professor Tapua Faruta George, who is representing Governor Umaru Fintiri of Adamawa State, is received by the Brigade Commander, 23 Brigade, Brigadier General Amechi Agu, and other senior officers and heads of security agencies in the state. Professor Faruta George commends the military for their efforts in keeping the state safe and pledges that the state government will support security agencies.
The choice of 23 Brigade Yola as the first formation for this event is indeed appropriate, as the brigade is playing a pivotal and commendable role at ensuring that the prevailing security and stability being enjoyed in the state is sustained.
The gathering of troops from different formations provides an opportunity for bonding and networking, which ultimately is expected to address the increasing complexity of security threats facing the country.
The Nigerian Army has upscaled its training probes, as witnessed here today. Thus, the competition is not merely about showcasing individual abilities, it is a critical demonstration of our collective commitment to the operational readiness and combat effectiveness.
The competition began with matching drills, followed by combat swimming and obstacles crossing by the troops. Families and friends of the troops were on ground to admire the courage and resilience of the troops. At the end of the competition, 23 Armored Brigade Yola clinched the first position, while 6 Brigade Jalingo took second position, and 3 Division Garrison Jos claimed the third position. The high point of the event is the presentation of prizes to winners and awards to those who distinguished themselves during the 4-day ceremony.
Several people have been killed by a bomb explosion in Konduga town, Borno State, which occurred around 9:30 p.m. on Friday at a popular spot known as the Fish Market. Reports from local sources say over 20 people were killed in the incident, while over 30 others sustained injuries. Confirming the incident, the spokesperson of the police command, ASP Daso Kenneth, says so far only 10 people were killed in the attack. He says the command received a distress call on Friday night that a female suicide bomber sneaked into a crowd at a local food market and detonated her explosives. He appealed to members of the public to continue to give useful information to the police and other security agencies on the movement of any suspected criminals, as the war against terrorists should not be left in the hands of security operatives alone. In part 2, after the break, Governor of Plateau State, Caleb Mufwang, condemns the killing of 8 travelers in Mangu community of Mangu local government area by suspected hoodlums. That's in a moment. Join us again.
Welcome to Whitey Bets, your new home for sports betting and thrilling casino games. It's time to level up your game. Whitey Bet. Bet smart, win big, play with confidence. Incredible odds, non-stop action, fast payouts. And it's all safe, secure, and just a click away. What do you bet? Bet smart, win big, play with confidence.
Play now for a chance to win.
What do you bet?
In the 21st century, Nigeria cannot be an independent nation without technology independence.
In a world racing towards the future, out of Africa is Zynox Technologies, a Nigerian tech group with major global certifications, proven capacity and a bold vision to domesticate world-class technologies.
From powering critical government infrastructure, homes and businesses, to delivering some of Africa's most integrated ICT projects, we are redefining what's possible, and we take responsibility. And with our efficient iPower renewable energy solutions, we are bringing sustainable power to homes and businesses.
Let's build a stronger tech nation, powered by Zynox. Zynox. Anticipate the future.
Now this is tomato mix. Even after adding water, you can still taste the tomato flavor. With Tasty Tom tomato mix, you can cook any of your customers' favorite meals. No color changing like traffic lights.
Tasty Tom will surely give you value for money because Tasty Tom tomato mix is thick. A little is enough to get your desired quantity of stew and soup. No unfair deal.
Tasty Tom makes me so happy. The taste is always on point.
And it doesn't color your meat or your chicken.
Because of Tasty Tom tomato mix, the taste of my food never changes. So my customers keep coming.
I don't compromise on the quality of my food, so I buy quality from the onset. Use Tasty Tom enriched tomato mix.
Tasty Tom, for tasty meals good for you. Available in convenient sachets.
To make it here, you're gonna need a different type of energy. That gang energy that starts from your chest. Why wait? Dominate. Go win bets. Even when the power's out, still knocking the lights out. Living with no how-tos, we got the make do's. We're gonna move. Live large energy. Zag Energy Plus Malt. That's our kind of energy.
Enter the aviator mode and fly into a new experience. Find how far you can go in Crash Games. Betano, the game starts now.
Welcome back. If you just joined us, you're watching the news at 10 live on Channels Television. A reminder of our top stories. President Bola Tinubu calls for regional cooperation amongst West African nations, challenges leaders to foster deeper integration, collective action, and shared prosperity. Governor Moeno formally joins the APC in Uyo as Vice President Kashim Shettima guarantees him of full integration into the party. Governor of Plateau State Caleb Mafwang condemns the killing of 8 travelers in Mangu community of Mangu local government area by suspected hoodlum. And Israel attacks dozens of military targets in southwest Iran as the conflict enters its 9th day. An explosion also occurred in Kano State where 5 people have been killed and 10 others injured in Gidan Cafe along the eastern bypass. The Commissioner of Police, CP Ibrahim Bakuri, who arrived at the scene shortly after the incident, revealed that the explosive devices were transported from Yobe State alongside scrap materials. He adds that security agencies have cordoned off the area and investigations are currently underway.
In the morning, I received an information from DPO Mariri that there is an explosive at Gidan Karfe in his area of jurisdiction. So I rushed to the place. When I arrived at the scene, it was restricted. So our EOD personnel are there watching. But the information I received, is that the vehicle came from Yobe State. So one of the explosive one exploded, and now they have recovered 7. And I met 15 people injured. They were rushed to the hospital, Kano, where I met the doctor confirmed 5 dead and 10 are receiving treatment.
State Police Command has recorded a major breakthrough in its fight against violent crime with the arrest of 44-year-old Wasiu Akinwande, also known as Oloresho. He was captured during a special tactical operation codenamed Silence, Speed and Surprise in the Agbado area of Ogun State. According to the State Command, he is the most wanted hired killer and court leader in Lagos in recent years, linked to over a decade of deadly crimes, including multiple murders and robberies and cult-related activities, especially in the Mushin area. The Commissioner of Police, CP Dari Jimo, has assigned the SCID Deputy Commissioner to lead a full investigation and arrest all other suspects connected to the killings. The Plateau State Governor, Caleb Mufwang, has expressed deep shock and sorrow over the tragic mob action that claimed the lives of 8 people in Mangu district of Mangu local government area on Friday. Preliminary reports confirmed that the victims were traveling from Zaria in Kaduna State en route to Plateau State for a wedding, but got lost and ran into a tense situation in Mangu, a community grappling with sustained terrorist attacks. The governor, who visited survivors in the hospital, condemned the mob action.
The youths of this community and the districts around it have been doing a fantastic job, rising to assist the security agencies in defending these communities against the intrusion of criminal elements. It is very sad that the same youths that have been doing very well will turn around and take laws into their hands. This is totally unacceptable. And government will not sweep this under the carpet. We have been trying to build a plateau that is home to everybody, receptive to visitors. And we have been educating our youth that there must be rite of passage in every road on the plateau. This therefore comes to us as a root shock, is an embarrassment and a setback for us on the course we have charted since we came into government. While we have continued to encourage youth to be responsible, rising to defend their communities, we did not envisage that one day they will go overboard and harm innocent lives. We therefore condemn this in all totality. And I want to assure Nigerians that Plateau will always remain a safe place to travel through.
To end the escalating wave of killings and violence in Benue State, the federal government has taken decisive steps. This was disclosed by the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Mr. George Akume, during a high-level meeting in Benue State, which involved high-profile traditional rulers. Speaking on the President's directive to set up a strategic peace committee, Mr. Akume described the incident as heartbreaking and reiterated the federal government's commitment to stop the violence and restore lasting peace in Benue State. He urged traditional rulers to remain vigilant and promptly report any breaches to authorities to further de-escalate the situation. The proposed Strategic Peace Committee, to be led by the SGF, has already begun consultations to develop concrete recommendations for ending the attacks in Benue State. In Anambra State, supporters gathered at the Ochocha Township Stadium in Anambra East local government area for a solidarity rally backing Governor Chukwuma Soludo's re-election bid. For the organizers, the rally's theme, Sustaining the Solution Legacy, a Path to Disruptive Development in Anambra State, is to send a strong message about the zone's support for Governor Soludo's agenda. The governor commended the people of Anambra North for their support, stressing that he's been more focused on carrying out developmental projects in the zone and across the state.
Otuocha Township Stadium in Anambra North Senatorial Zone is in a frenzy as the people welcome Governor Chukwuma Soludo and his entourage for the Anambra North Solidarity Rally for him and his deputy Gilbert Ibezim. The event begins with a march past from the 7 local government areas in the North Senatorial Zone, as well as from other support groups. Key stakeholders here hail Governor Soludo for not abandoning Anambra North.
Your Excellency, under your leadership, we have witnessed tremendous progress in every area of human development. So, Your Excellency, we say thank you. We pray for you that God will continue to bless you, give you strength. We will continue to support you. Anambra North, no, with you 100%. Our loyalty for 1 million.
The leadership of the All Progressives Grand Alliance and Anambra State House of Assembly expressed satisfaction with the performance of the state governor and insist on continuity.
Mr. Governor, you are Anambra North consensus candidate. Irrespective of political party, here we are united. We don't have any special arrangement for APGA. We don't have any special arrangement for APC. We don't have for Labour. We don't have for PDP. We don't have for YPP. Whatever it is, in Anambra, like you always say, there is one state, one people, one agenda. And the uniform agenda we have is that you must continue the transformation you have stated in Anambra State. That is our only agenda.
Next, the people confer the title of Oluwatuegu of Anambra State on Governor Soludo, all because of the impact he's had on the state. In his response, Governor Soludo commends the people of Anambra North and uses the opportunity to remind them of how zoning principle has made Anambra peaceful.
For those who don't understand the Igbo, Oluwatuegu, I think in Pidgin means man where not the fear walk. Anambra has, I think so far, other states, and zoning operates in several other states of Nigeria. But I think in Anambra, we have largely perfected it, isn't it? We have perfected the process of zoning. Is it? After Anambra Central, he went to the north. Because of this zoning process, South is now in office for 3 years and a few months. After South, it will get down to where? Central.
With 99 political wards in Anambra North Senatorial Zone, the people reassure the governor that they will not disappoint him and his deputy in the November 8th governorship election.
Governors and lawmakers have been urged to ensure adequate budgetary allocation and judicious spending in order to end malnutrition in the country. Vice President Kashim Shettima made the call during the inauguration of a strategic board that will drive the implementation of the Nutrition 774 initiative. Our State House correspondent, Emperor Simon, has this report.
The Nutrition 774 initiative is a multi-sectoral policy of the federal government designed to streamline efforts towards ending the scourge of malnutrition in Nigeria. Vice President Kashim Shettima is here to inaugurate a strategic board that will drive the implementation of the policy, which is expected to also have impact on the country's economy.
A nation that neglects the physiological needs of its people, particularly the most vulnerable, pleased with instability. Because the malnourished population is an unproductive one, and an unproductive population drags down the wheels of progress. The consequences are economic, social, and generational.
He wants the buy-in of state governments and the legislature.
We are counting on our state governors to drive implementation at scale, and on our local government chairman, Professor, who, being closest to the people, hold the keys to reaching the grassroots. Our legislators, our leaders, both at the national and state levels, must also rise to the occasion, championing laws and pushing for budgetary provisions and priorities that place nutrition at the center of our development agenda, while holding the implementing agencies accountable to their mandates.
The strategic board comprises representatives from federal and state governments, including lawmakers, who pledge to ensure that the impact of the Nutrition 774 initiative is felt at the grassroots.
There are so many activities going on at all tiers of government to push nutrition forward. But what this board is doing is to make sure that it's unified. All of the activities are consolidated into one plan.
From the local level, we ensure that women are at the center of this initiative so that we're driving home the message and we're making the required impact.
Conversation to improve on nutrition outcomes cannot but be taken to where N774 has taken it to local government areas, taking it to the community, because that's actually where the hunger is.
It is believed that with strong leadership, supportive policies, strategic partnerships, and community-driven engagement, the objectives of the Nutrition 774 initiative will be achieved. From the presidential villa, Emperor Simon, Channels Television News.
Still ahead on the news at 10, Nigeria's stock market extends 4-week bullish streak with the ASI up 2.3% week on week, led by gains in the oil and gas counter. That's on business news. Please stay with us.
Stay confident, stay focused, breathe through it with TomTom.
Welcome to Adamawa. The thrill is gone.
Sports bets and casino games, the stakes are rising. Play your way, the chance is near. With competitive odds, the win is clear. What do you bet? Bet smart, win big, feel alive. Lightning payouts, non-stop vibes. Your journey to greatness, it's here, it's begun. What do you bet?
Welcome back. Company news now. One of the top leading toothpaste brands, Pepsodent Nigeria, has kicked off a 21-day brush day and night challenge for children in public schools to help improve their oral hygiene. The initiative, which was flagged off in the Sari-Igomu area of Lagos, signals the commencement of the 2025 Pepsodent School program, targeting 2.7 million students in the country. The brand manager, Mary Akindola, says the dental campaign program is being implemented in areas where dental hygiene is often neglected, and the idea is to drive change amongst children.
Oladipo Primary School and Sari-Igomu Nursery and Primary School are the first set of schools to participate in the 2025 Pepsodent School program. The team from Pepsodent are here to educate the pupils on the need to practice oral hygiene with one of the top leading toothpaste brands, Pepsodent. Unilever is also supporting Pepsodent, advocating a daily brushing routine habit for children by participating in the 21-day challenge.
We have found out that in this part of the world, we don't take our oral hygiene very seriously. So you see young kids as small as they are, 5 years, 10 years, having tools in their holes, having to remove their teeth. So President has said, no, this is a family brand. Let's go out there. Let's teach these children how to do it properly. We also have the 21 days challenge where we tell them to brush day and night. And we believe that something you have practiced for 21 days, it should always be an habit.
Pepsodent toothpaste fights germs to protect teeth against cavities. And the company says there's no better time to help these young ones boost their confidence and safeguard their teeth.
We have noticed that absenteeism in school is mainly attributed to children staying away from school due to dental issues, one dental issue or the other. And we believe that, if children are able to imbibe simple, good oral hygiene habits, such as brushing morning and night for at least 2 minutes, the chances of them having caries later on in life is significantly reduced. And if you look at what the current data is saying, we have close to half of the world population currently battling with caries. And so this is our own contribution to promoting good oral hygiene in Nigeria.
Representatives of the school applaud the team for prioritizing the well-being of pupils.
But last time they came to our local governments, they gave all the pupils, not only in this school, like 71 schools, they gave them Pepsodent. So this time around they are coming again. I always appreciate them. God is the infinite mercy shall bless them and provide for them.
It will encourage our children to brush their teeth, because most of their parents are not, some are not educated enough to tell their children what to do and what not to do. So as you people come now and do this program, it will encourage them. We appreciate your gesture on that area.
Pepsodent says the oral hygiene initiative is part of the company's corporate social responsibility, which will cut across all the 6 geopolitical zones just to improve the overall well-being of young Nigerians.
As part of its social responsibility, MTN Nigeria Foundation is set to reach out to about 86,000 students and train 1,000 teachers on the dangers of substance abuse. According to the executive director of the foundation, Mrs. Odunayo Sonia, this is a significant increase from the 30,000 trained last year. This outreach falls under its annual program tagged Anti-Substance Abuse. Our correspondent, Emanuela Ekele, has this report.
The Anti-Substance Abuse Program, ASAP, of the MTN Foundation is in its 6th year. As early as 7 a.m., the management science ground of the University of Abuja is a beehive of activities as MTN Nigeria Foundation brings an advocacy walk to the students of the school aimed at creating awareness on the dangers of drug abuse. Joined by officials from the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, NDLEA, the United Nations Office for Drug Control, UNODC, the Ministry of Health, among other participants. They carry out some aerobics before hitting the road within the school premises, covering over 6 kilometers. The executive director of MTN Foundation speaks on the importance of the program and the plans for the future.
This year, we've upped the ante. We want to reach about 86,000 students. We've also been able to train about 500 teachers. This year, we want to train about 1,000 across the geopolitical regions. Because what we found is that when we leave the right message with just one person, that child can influence another 4 people within the family.
Officials from the NDLEA and Ministry of Health have some advice for the students.
We want to take the message to the youth that drug abuse destroys lives. And if you continue to use drugs, you're destroying yourself.
As a ministry, we are able to ensure we oversee the treatment centers we have across the country. And through that data, we see on a monthly basis the number of entrants that are coming for help.
These students share some lessons from the advocacy walk.
As students, if we want to live long, we should not engage in drugs.
The program runs off with a panel discussion where the root cause of substance use was identified, which includes peer pressure, among others.
Most
sense, we don't like to accept that cigarettes and drugs and alcohol are actually substances that people abuse.
The program, facilitated by MTN Nigerian Foundation, leaves these students better equipped on the dangers of substance abuse. Ibanuela Ekele, Channels Television News.
In Lagos, the MTN Foundation, in collaboration with key partners, have also taken the message to the streets with a powerful advocacy walk. Ahead of the International Day Against Drug Abuse and Illicit Trafficking, marked on June the 26th, the group has intensified efforts to raise awareness and drive prevention efforts, especially among young people. For this year's theme, the evidence is clear: invest in prevention.
The Alao-Aka Basharun Park in Bagada, Lagos is the takeoff point for the MTN Anti-Substance Abuse Program Advocacy Walk, organized by the MTN Foundation in partnership with the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency and the United Nations Office on Drugs and Crime. The walk aims to raise awareness about the dangers of drug abuse, especially among young people.
1, 2.
Before takeoff, participants gather for a brief warm-up session, gearing up for the walk ahead.
It's to sensitize our youth against substance abuse. We know it's very prevalent in society. So there are a few things that we need to be careful about. So when your child or when somebody is withdrawn from society, when they are behaving in a way that would normally do not behave, please be aware and let us be careful as to what they watch on television and the kind of company they keep. Fighting drug abuse is not only about law enforcement issues. We all have to come out to see how we can invest in prevention, how to engage our youth, bring them close to us, empower them. We need to understand, as the people say, prevention is better than cure.
The walk kicks off through the streets of Bagada, moving to Yaba, with participants preaching against drug abuse. The final stop is the Raman Bello Auditorium at the University of Lagos, with the wife of the Governor of Lagos State, Dr. Ibijoke Sanwo-Olu, joining them.
It's difficult for some of us to say no. It's difficult for some of us to put boundaries. All of us want to belong. We want to belong. They want to be seen as the happening girl or the happening boy in their class or in their home, among their peers. And unfortunately, it has a price. Is it worth it? That's the question you need to ask. So I believe in catching them young. And that is why you see people like us waking up, ensuring that we take part in this walk, take part in this talk, to ensure that we kick this menace out of Nigeria.
With this year's World Drug Day calling for greater investment in prevention across justice, education, healthcare, and alternative livelihoods, the MTN Anti-Substance Abuse Walk seeks to influence society positively and reinforce the urgent need for collective action.
Let's find out what's happening in the world of business. Lady Williams has all the details.
Thanks, Melinda. Well, in business, the Securities and Exchange Commission, they've unveiled a significant corporate governance reform, mandating a 3-year cooling-off period before a serving CEO can assume the position of chairman at the same public company or within the same corporate group. The directive, issued via circular to all public companies and capital market operators, also prohibits independent non-executive directors from moving into executive roles. It introduces tenure caps, 10 years for CEOs and 12 within a group, as well as a 4-year limit for former CEOs transitioning into chairman roles. The measures, effective immediately, aim to reinforce board independence, prevent power consolidation, and elevate oversight standards in Nigeria's capital market. And Nigeria's farm produce prices surged 28.98% from January to May, according to the National Bureau of Statistics. The sharpest rise as 22.28% occurred between April and May, driven largely by escalating insecurity, disrupting agricultural production. This surge sharply contrasts with relatively stable imported food prices, underscoring growing pressure on domestic food supplies and widening inflationary risk. Nigeria's headline inflation rate eased to 22.97% in May 2025, down from 23.71% in April, according to the latest Consumer Price Index report released by the NBS. This represents a 0.74 percentage point decrease on a year-on-year basis and a notable 10.98 percentage point drop compared to May 2024. And now let's get a check on how your money performed this week. Nigeria's stock market extended its 4-week winning streak as the NGX All-Share Index surged 2.3% week on week to 118,000 points, lifting year-to-date gains to 14.8%. Market capitalization similarly rose 2.3%, reaching 74 trillion naira. Trading volumes climbed 3.5 billion units, while value traded jumped to 115.9 billion naira. Sector-wise, oil and gas led with a 5.3% advance. Banking followed with a 3.6% jump, boosted by Seplat, Aradol, GTCO, and Stanbic, while industrial goods declined 0.4% due to losses in Red Star Express and Bois Cement. Market breadth remained modest at 0.3x, with 53 gainers, 39 losers, and 51 unchanged. Key winners included Ella Lakes with a 23.1% advance and Beta Glass at 19.4%, while NNFM, Suno Assurance, and Wando posted the largest declines. Anticipation remains for continued upward momentum, underpinned by strategic initiatives from major banks in response to the CBN's recent circular. Leading activity by volume was Zenith Bank, Champion Breweries, and Axis Corp. And Ecuador's immigration authorities have revoked visa-free airport transit privileges for passport holders from 45 countries, including Nigeria, Ghana, India, and China, effective immediately. Under the new regulation, travelers must now obtain a transit visa before boarding any flight that includes a stopover in Ecuador, even if they remain with international transit area. The overturn marks a substantial shift in immigration policy, impacting thousands who previously relied on Ecuadorian airports as layover hubs to destinations across the Americas and beyond. Transit passengers who once bypassed immigration clearance must now secure a visa in advance, aligning with Quito's efforts to tighten border security and counter irregular migration. Travelers from affected countries are advised to check requirements with the nearest Ecuadorian embassy or consulate before booking flights to avoid denied boarding or transit disruptions. And Tesla announced today it will allocate approximately $8 billion in U.S. capital expenditures during the current fiscal year, focusing on expanding manufacturing capacity and domestic infrastructure. The company confirmed via its official X account. This commitment follows a record $10 billion spent on U.S. facilities last year, bringing the total investment in American operations since inception to around $44 billion. The announcement underscores Tesla's continued dedication to bolstering its gigafactories and production networks across states, including Texas, Nevada, and California. The expansion aims to support growing output for vehicles like the Cybertruck, enhance battery manufacturing, and reinforce infrastructure for its energy and AI initiatives, reflecting a strategic push with intensifying competition in the EV sector. And a UK-based research and risk advisory firm, Fitch Solutions, projects Ghana's real GDP will rise by 5.0% in 2026, reflecting sustained recovery and economic resilience. Recent data from the first quarter of 2025 strengthened this outlook, with annualized GDP growth accelerating to 5.3%, up from 3.6% in the fourth quarter of 2024, prompting Fitch to revise its 2025 forecast to 4.9%. The firm's forecast underscores improving macroeconomic fundamentals following Ghana's sovereign credit upgrades and structural reforms. Analysts highlight disciplined fiscal management, ongoing debt restructuring, and a primary surplus expected through 2026 as key drivers of the upward trajectory. And that's it from me in business. Back to Melinda with the rest of the news at 10.
Many thanks, Ladi. The Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Mr. Nyesom Wike, has pledged to support in the refurbishment of the Ibrahim Babangida International Golf and Country Club in the nation's capital, Abuja. Mr. Wike gave the assurances while responding to the demands of the club's Board of Trustees, led by its chairman and president of the Court of Appeal, Justice Monica Dongwam-Memsen. He asked the club's Board of Trustees to work in line with the federal government's agenda and desist from engaging in acts that go against it.
I'm just coming here, right, as you don't need to say no all the whole places. We'll start with this one right here, which is the clubhouse. We'll start with this one right here. I will invite General Legan. They are the ones who built this. It will be easier for them. You are coming and when they tell you tomorrow, you are paying a grand rent, you get that. But you forget that this money comes from all these days. So you are coming and by there I go and see your property now. You say, oh, why is this people's property? This is that. I see, where will the money come from now? Will it come from my personal pocket? So, and you know that Johannesburg is expensive. You know that. So, when we do all these things, I don't pay a grand rent to the houses she has. I will see it up. Frankly speaking, I will work with you to make it to be the standard supposed to be. Not the advice from the bakers. It's not under this government. You allow you to make that trouble. Or will not. No amount of blackmail will change me. This is government property. And that's why we're trying to spend money here.
Hello and welcome to Sports News. Super Eagles stars Victor Osimhen, William Truss Ekong, Victor Boniface, Rafael Oyenika, Tolu Arokodare and Frank Onyeka stormed Ajegule earlier today for the Maracana Children's First, a grassroots football event put together by their teammates Wilfred Ndidi and Nathaniel Idowu Foundation. The festival brought together young men and women football talents, offering them a platform to showcase their skills, dream big, and meet with their football idols. Their players say this is as part of their off-season program to inspire budding talents to become world stars. They're expected to feature in a charity match tomorrow at the Mobolaji Johnson Arena in Oniko.
My first time here in Ajegule, and yeah, to see the work that's been done here already, with the help also from the private funding that's been done, is amazing. I brought my two youngest children with me because I also want them to see this side of Lagos. And no, it's been really special to see also what Karim Adeyemi has done here and what Wilfred Ndidi has done. I think it's a big encouragement for us to come here and to continue the work and an amazing work the chairman has done here.
I think Ajegule is one of the places that produce amazing talent in terms of football, music, and all sorts. So for me to be part of this initiative is really a great honor, and I'm happy to be here.
Our main focus is just the kids, you know, like they're the future, and also in our field, football. In football, I think we tend not to like focus on the kids. We tend to focus on the end products, you know. So I feel like we shouldn't miss out on them.
Away from football now to tennis, where the men's world number 2, Carlos Alcaraz, captured his 250th tour-level win in style at the HSBC Championships, where he sealed his return to the Queen's Club final. Alcaraz delivered a classy showing to sink countryman Roberto Bautista Agut 6-4, 6-4, and extend his winning streak to 17 matches. The Spaniard becomes the third fastest man to reach 250 wins among players that began their career in the Open era. The 22-year-old is into his 5th consecutive final.
Pinpoint precision to finish. And he moves into another final here at the Queen's Club in London. At 22 years of age, quite mind-boggling numbers. The 6th final of the year.
And Czech Republic's Jirili Heka has reached his first grass court final at the HSBC Championships, where he put an end to British #1 Jack Draper's quest on home soil. Heka survived a passionate West London crowd and an inspired fights back from Draper to triumph 6-4, 4-6 and 7-5. Now, after dropping his first set of the week at the ATP 500 at Queen's Club, the 23-year-old dug deep into a nervy deciding set tussle before powering to the 5th and biggest final of his career. With his 2-hour, 7 minutes victory, Heka becomes the first Czech man to reach a tour-level final on grass.
Jirili Heka is a Queen's finalist. What a performance. What a week it's been for this guy. Another top 10 victory. And the biggest final of his career.
Well, it's a final to look forward to tomorrow. Jirili Heka, of course, against the world #2, Carlos Alcaraz. That's sports. I'm Kelly Egigas. Back to Melinda.
I'm sure tennis lovers will be looking forward to that, Kelly. Many thanks. On the international scene, Israel says it has attacked dozens of military targets in southwest Iran and killed its commander, Saeed Izzadi, as the conflict enters its 9th day. Iranian media reports that an emergency center in the Kazakhstan province was targeted, with the university saying it had been completely destroyed. The UN's nuclear watchdog says Israel struck an Iranian nuclear plant in Isfahan and hit several buildings at the site. Earlier, Iran's foreign minister said the United States' involvement in the conflict would be grave and warned them not to meddle in the crisis. At least 8 people have died in a hot air balloon accident near a healthcare center in Brazil. According to the governor of Santa Catarina, Julio Melo, there were 21 people on board the balloon in the city of Padre Grande this morning. In a post on his X handle, he said 13 people, including the pilot, survived and no one is missing. Brazil's President Lula da Silva has also expressed solidarity with the families of the victims and has placed the federal government at their disposal as the state and municipal forces work to care for the survivors. And the main news again. President Bola Tinubu today called for regional cooperation amongst West African nations as he challenged leaders of the sub-region to foster deeper integration, collective action and shared prosperity. He said this in Abuja while declaring open the inaugural West African Economic Summit. Also today, the governor of Akwa Ibom State, Umoino, formally joined the APC in Uyo, welcoming him into the party. Vice President Kashim Shettima guaranteed him of full integration into the party. That's the news at 10 tonight. I'm Melinda Kinlami on behalf of the team. Good night.
This week on Dateline Abuja, we speak with an energy expert on the construction work along the 330 kV Jos Bauchi Gombe transmission line to connect the new Bauchi 330 kV transmission substation to the grid. and a new plan to modernize the TCN, that's the Transmission Company of Nigeria, by splitting it into two companies, the Independent System Operator, ISO, and the Transmission Service Provider, TSP. What does all this mean? And where are we on the transmission side of things in Nigeria's ever-complex power sector? Meanwhile, we take you around some of the projects being commissioned by the FCT minister all across the nation's capital in commemoration of President Bola Tinubu's second year in office. This is Dateline Abuja. Hello and welcome to Dateline Abuja. I am Kayla Magwa. Let's start off with a rundown of all that happened this week in Nigeria's presidency.
Before traveling to Benue State, President Bola Tinubu directed security chiefs to implement his earlier directive to bring lasting peace and security to Benue State. According to the statement by the Special Advisor on Information and Strategy, Bayo Onanuga, President Tinubu renewed his order in the wake of the latest round of reprisal attacks that led to the death of many people. On the president's directive, intelligence chiefs, the police and the military arrived in the state to direct security operations and restore sanity. President Tinubu equally charged the governor of Benue State to convene reconciliation meetings and dialogue among the warring parties to end the incessant bloodshed and bring lasting peace and harmonious coexistence between farmers, herders and communities. Arriving in Benue State, the President Bola Tinubu again tasked the Inspector General of Police and the Chief of Defense Staff to find the perpetrators of the Yellow-Wada killings. He gave the order during a town hall in Makurdi, the Benue State capital. Also, President Bola Tinubu on Thursday commissioned several projects executed by the administration of Governor Obasani of Kaduna State, commending the governor for promoting inclusive governance and restoring peace and harmony in the